Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for another Ultimate Creative Chat. Here I am once again with someone else who is going to give us a lot of great information. You may have heard of her before, but today you'll get to hear from her here on the Ultimate Creative Chat. I am talking today with Kellie Bowman of Sebi's Daughters. Thank you so much, Kellie, for being here.
Thank you for having me so much. I appreciate this.
Absolutely. If you do not know, Kellie is one of Dr. Sebi's daughters, and he is the man who had taught us about eating better, taking better care of our bodies, really putting the right things into our bodies that, we didn't realize in a lot of cases we were doing some damage with the dairy and and a lot of things, but we can attribute that to him and some others that really brought a lot of things to light many years ago. But Kellie is continuing his work, and I'm just so honored to have her here on the show.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate this. It's always good to talk about things that matter in our lives. And health is one of the biggest, if not the biggest.
Yes, absolutely, it is. You are right about that. So, Kellie is a nurse. You also have a store here in the Atlanta area for people to come and shop and get these good supplements and sea moss and all kinds of things that are going to help us internally and which, shows on the outside as well. So, tell us a little bit about what you're doing there.
So Sabi's Daughters is based off of, as a child, I watched my father talk to so many people in underserved communities. And one of the things I wanted to do after his death was come out with a company that right aligned with what my goals and my convictions are, based on my upbringing. And so when it came down to my store, it's a legacy brand, of course, giving honor to my father, Dr. Sebi. But what I wanted to do is have the community in mind with all the challenges that we're having today in our communities. I felt it necessary to continue to talk to the communities because that's where his work was founded. So I wanted to make sure that my product spoke to those who are on medication, not on medication, have a lifestyle of a traditional way of eating, not vegan or vegetarian, but I wanted to be all inclusive for everyone to be able to find meaning and education behind their nutritional choices.
Awesome. Yes, and I know, as women, we face certain issues in our bodies that, iron deficiency, calcium deficiency, and what else, there's so many things, sometimes sleep deprivation,
Oh yeah,
um, that leads
yeah,
to, physical ailments and disease.
yeah.
So how are you helping to combat that in our community? I know most of our audience is Black female audience. So, what are some things that you have come across that you've really, tried to share with our community?
Well, it's interesting that, I'm raised by a mother and a father, but it seems like we girls kind of gravitate towards our dads. I love being a woman. I think one of the best representation of men is a woman. We are life givers. We are mothers. We're sisters. We're called to be a lot of things. And some of these things I
Mhm.
would talk to my dad about boys and your menstrual cycle, and you talk to your mom, but your dad, you kind of got an interesting rhythm with. And what I wanted to share with women as I grew up, I had so many questions about my body. And now, being in my 50s, I'm like, there's still some changes. Every decade, we women change. So I
Yes.
wanted to be able to speak to when I was young to where I am now as a grown woman. And I wanted to know that I'm giving my best. And so
Yeah.
through my product line, I have products like Inner Woman or a Yoni soap. But some of the things that I wanted women to know is those small changes that make the biggest changes in our bodies, those small things. And, I want to know that our product line speaks to that at Sebi's Daughters. But for women in general, knowing the balance between your salt, your sugar, your this, your that is a very hard thing on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But how many minerals are you getting from that food that you're eating? Nowadays, it's a fight, whether it's time or nutritional choices. So I wanted to make it easy. You know, we have a food list on there, a grocery list that was based on my father's understanding. And, you know, alkaline foods are very important. You know, you want to get the highest level of minerals in a day if possible. But just being mindful that your body gives so much to so many others, it's important. And the commitment to ourselves as women is amazing when we do it, but we need to take the time to do it. And the first thing is to have a plan. And I wanted Sebi's Daughters to be able to have a good amount of front-loaded information to help you with your plan. And that starts a woman's whole mood. The whole journey is the plan that she has in here. So I can offer what I want. I can offer that, but until we get to the point where that information is important to make us feel loved inside by ourselves. You know, that's the one thing I want women to understand as a daughter of such great parents. And my father was a great dad, but I never wanted to be my dad. I know I look just like him. And some people say,
Yes.
you're not like your dad. And you know what? I never wanted to be, and nor did he want me to be. He wanted me to be the best version of myself.
Yeah.
And I tell women that all the time, be the best version of yourself. And I honor him in my upbringing, but I am also a woman, and I want to know that I'm coming through as a woman, and those things in our nutritional journey need to be assessed so that we don't have things on the back end that trouble us. And maybe we catch them early, because you still need assessment from the doctor. I would love to say as a nurse that, oh, you look good, you don't need to go to the hospital. Not true. Not true. You know, back in the day, hospitals were only for emergencies and babies. Nowadays, we have millions of medications and millions of things happening in our lives. We have these new medications for diabetes, hypertension, you name it. So what failed us? So I want women to be aware that assessment and is important, but having a plan for your daily commitment to yourself is vital.
You have said a mouthful, Miss Kellie. You've already told us so much. We're not going to cut the interview off here because there is still more to learn, but we are going to take a very quick break for a commercial, and we will be right back. Sit right there and come back.
We'll be right back. Do you own a growing business? Danielle Rosser's clients get the keys to success when it comes to meeting their bottom line. Reach your intended audience with the proper branding, messaging, and storytelling when you partner with UltimateCreativ. So what can UltimateCreativ do for you? Click the link in the description for a consultation, and let's get started. Back to the show.
All right, you all, we are back. Thank you for hanging in there with us and staying here to hear more from Kellie Bowman from Sebi's Daughters. Okay, so she is here to tell us some more about how we can do better with our eating and how we can start to formulate a plan and the importance of that. So Kellie, thank you so much for everything you've already shared. She dove in. She took a deep dive. If you guys missed the first part, she took a deep dive. You need to go back and watch the beginning and then catch up because there was a lot of great information shared. But I know she's got some more for us. So let's say someone wants to go on a pescatarian diet. They want to change and stop eating so much red meat, so much of the pork and everything, and they want to just focus on the fish, vegetables, and other proteins. What can they do to start to transition into a better lifestyle?
Okay, so here's the game plan, ladies. When you look at a plate of food, Okay, when you look at a plate, sorry, not a plate of food, when you look at it, you want the plate to not be a lot of your protein or your meat, uh, meat substance.
Mm-hmm.
You want it to be full of vegetables or
Mm-hmm.
grains. You want a good balance. So when you take a plate out and you look at it, 80% of that plate should be for your healing. It should
Mm-hmm.
be more alkaline. It should be filled with lots of minerals. Okay. So if this is your choice, then I want you to look at the forms of fish that you're dealing with. So I would definitely think about raising your level of white fish, then having, the shellfish. And there are
Okay.
reasons. And, some people ask, well, why do you say less shellfish? Look at what shellfishes are responsible for. You have arthritis, you have high cholesterol. If you're
Mm-hmm.
going to eat fish, if this is your choice in moderation, totally up to you. This is a no judgment moment. This is for me to help you be the best you, not for judgment. And you want to take the best. So a lot of people go into white fish, such as your Chilean sea bass, your red snapper. They go into, and so, whiting. So they'll go into a white fish along with a large amount of those grains that are listed on sabysdaughters.com and make that a routine. Another thing
Okay.
is, I'd like to see more people really take a good look in your cabinets and your refrigerator and see how you are looking for the day from beginning to end. What are your snacks? What can you replace one thing for another that's
Mm-hmm.
more beneficial? And we all know that YouTube and a lot of other areas have great chefs on there to help you with that journey, because my likes may not be yours. Like, I like cucumbers and hummus. It's one of my favorite at night snacks.
Mm-hmm.
I find that the older I get, I start having a bewitching hour about 10 o'clock,
Yep.
and I like to have something savory.
Yeah, that's me.
So that's all of us. We have this moment, and I'm like, I don't know quite what it was. So I go with something that I like. You know those globe grapes with the seed?
Yes.
So for the summer, I freeze those. And
Okay.
that's a good cooling off. But at night, instead of chips or something, I do hummus and cucumbers. And those
Okay.
are my favorites. So I find little ways to satisfy myself, but I want to know that I'm having some form of effort every day. And I may not get
Okay.
it right every day. I may have to be on the road sometimes. So I have to plan a little bit ahead of time to see what I'm doing. So I would say
Okay.
also take a day out of the week and plan your meals for the next coming week. And they
Mm.
should include things that are helpful, and start there.
Awesome. I love that. That is very practical guidance. Thank you. And yeah, we do snack at night from time to time, especially if you're going to stay up and work or stay up and watch that Christmas movie now that we're getting into the holidays. Some of us are guilty of staying up and looking at Christmas movies. So, yes, hummus and cucumbers is definitely better than potato chips. But so how, as far as supplements, what supplements do you all offer through Savi's Daughters to help us as women and maybe even our girls to start them on the right path when it comes to fortifying ourselves in addition to the good foods that we're going to eat?
We'll be right back. So, what can Ultimate Creative do for you? Click the link in the description for a consultation and let's get started. Back to the show.
What I love is, like I said, I was a young girl, and I've been privileged to be in the life of young girls. And my existence on my website is fortified, full of good things for women. And there's no fillers. The one thing you want to know about
Oh,
supplements is when you look on the back of the bottle, does it have fillers? I do no fillers. It's all the original product.
hmm.
And so for young women, I like them to lean into more water, spring water, that's on our site. I like them to lean into our CMOS gel. Then they graduate as they get a little older after children to Inner Woman, or if they can't have children, to a product called Inner Woman. And as they progress as women in their 20s, I have a yoni soap. I have a soap with all the herbal blends to pH balance the body. I want to know that, and I have body butters. I use them myself. I have a lot of things on there that allow a woman to feel the ultimate love from one woman to another. I think us women, we need to celebrate each other. It helps a lot. So I have a beautiful soap that is called, I cannot believe I went blank there. It's called, it's a rose soap. I have a rose soap on my site. Pretty Woman is the name of it. And I named it Pretty Woman because I remember hearing a poem and it was just so beautiful to me. Maya Angelou she just grabbed me, and I wanted women to know I feel that they are so lovely in their organic rose petals and Pretty Woman. So the goal is to feel pretty inside and outside. We can all throw on the earrings and the pretty clothes and the makeup, but I want my inside to be just as fly. And I want other women to know it's possible, one step at a time. And if not one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, we can work on ourselves. So the supplements, the elderberry sea moss. I have so many products on there, but those are my highlights and best sellers on that site.
Okay, awesome. And what are I haven't gotten into the sea moss just yet. I've heard about it and a lot of the benefits. Would you share a little bit about what it is and how to use it? Like, how do you take it? I know there are different forms.
There are, and all sea moss is not created equal. I go through painstaking travel to ensure your safety first, because I have to take it myself. So we have it in a couple of forms. We have it in powder, jelly, and we have it in capsule. And because everybody, we don't all digest the same way and we don't all like the same thing. So I wanted to make sure that I was totally open with that and making sure you guys, my clients have it in all kind of ways that make sense to a body, especially with young ones all the way up into our elder years as women. And sea moss carries, as you can see, my father coined that phrase, but it's not a phrase, it's actual fact. There are over 92 minerals in the 102 that we need in sea moss. And Irish moss. So it's a blend when you hear the word sea moss, because it's Irish moss and it's bladderwrack. So I want to make sure that I'm talking to my clients and making sure the founding person who started this sea moss craze is honored. And the reason why is because he made sure we knew what our bodies required. It is not grown here in the United States properly. It's grown in the beautiful islands around the United States. And I just want to say that it's one of the things that I love so much and hold so dear because it's so helpful. It's so helpful. And if some people are allergic, I also have other things because a lot of people want to take it in, but they can't. And so I have other products that are on SebisDaughters.com. But sea moss is so awesome. And it is the reason I believe that, my father, Dr. Sebi, was so interested in health for others. And he is the sea moss architect. It has blown up and rose to great heights since he died that I've seen. And everybody jumped in the game. But think about what it did for young entrepreneur women and men. You can put it in. I was just
going to say, just in the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, I've heard more about sea moss. Everybody's talking about it. People starting to make it and sell it and all of this. But I don't remember that years ago, but it was around, so, that it has become a craze, but I guess that's probably the best kind of craze because if it's going to help us, then we appreciate the information.
Well, you can put it in your hair, on your face, you can eat it. It's just so, and that's why I made it into a soap. I made it into a lip balm. I wanted to show proper respect for my father. And he didn't make it into a lip balm, but I'm his daughter. What do you want me to do? I want to put it on your body. Well, what do you want me to do? I'm going to, when you look at your children, you see some of the best parts of you. And because they grow from what you taught them. And I want to believe that I'm always growing and I'm always being watered by his knowledge and what he gave me. And I turned it into something in a company because I love him. And I do
Yeah.
respect women, and I do respect myself. And I want to know that what I'm doing is organic and is very kind and supportive to our neighborhoods that sometimes are not able to get luxury. And I want you to know that our sea moss is the Gucci of all sea mosses. And I want you to know the products
Okay.
are the Chanel of all products. So you don't have to worry about that. I have you inside for your Louis Vuitton or your
Okay.
Tiffany's. That is my goal for you, is to not only look good, is to feel good. But also, you are the biggest consumers, you Black women, you wonderful Black women. But there's not a lot of sellers like us out there. So I know you know good product. So I challenge everybody to get on Sebi's Daughters, try the product, because I did it for you.
Okay. She did that for us. She's looking out for us, sis. Okay. So try it out. Try it out. Okay. And as I was telling her before we recorded, I have some relatives that are using it, that are ranting and raving about the capsules. They take the capsule form and love it, and have told me about the difference that they are feeling in their body. So I will be trying some as well. But I really appreciate being able to get access to the information and being able to just get a better understanding. We all need a little more understanding of
Yes.
things that are going to help us.
Yeah. And please tell him I
Also,
said hi.
oh, I definitely
He only
will.
sees me. He probably doesn't recognize me when he comes because I don't look like this. I got on a hat and I'm like up here to see Moss, and he's probably like, "Who is that? Is that a worker?"
Oh my gosh. No, they know who you are. But yes, it is. We are getting some very valuable information here, and you ladies who are watching are in the best seat in the house, just so you know. And also, I was talking to Kellie and saying, I saw you a few years ago on the Breakfast Club. You said that was your first interview?
That was one of my first. So I have an
Okay.
awesome PR team, and I didn't know what Breakfast Club was, sis. To be
Okay.
honest, so I did an interview, I think, on Sister Circle first, and that was the first time that I spoke about my dad dying and what it meant to me.
Okay.
I hadn't talked after he died. It took me years, but my big interview, my PR team, um, was pretty awesome, and they told me about Breakfast Club, and I, got the information, and I sit down, and I'm in a room full of men, and I'm sitting there, and all that matters to me is that I tell my truth, and I carry on my shoulders the women that I've met to help encourage me. My father's love, my mother's scriptures from the Bible, and I sat there, and I'm wondering how I'm going to come across to the world to let them know that I am here when I just arrived, because I have been in a shell because I
Mm-hmm.
missed him so much. And my
Yeah.
goal was to tell the truth. My goal is always to be honest, and my goal is always to help to teach and be supportive. So
Yeah.
when you watch that interview, that was Kellie first getting started. That was me
Mm.
first speaking my truth.
Wow.
When you watch the Breakfast Club interview, the first one I did, it's a pretty dope one for me to go back and watch, because I didn't realize how much I've grown, and that I still love my journey of health, and that it just reignites my fire. But that was one of my first, and that was the first time I actually said words out loud that I
Yeah.
could connect to the world, that I am here and I'm willing to keep talking about the goodness of being kind and natural, and my father, and how
Mm-hmm.
much love I have for him. And
Yeah.
yeah, I go back sometime and watch it.
Oh, it was a great interview. You did a great job. If I were your publicist, I would have been proud. Because yeah, you definitely gave a great interview. I would not have known that you were coming out of a shell at that moment, but it
Yeah,
was some very valuable information too in that interview. Ladies, if you haven't seen that, go Google that too while you're here on YouTube. Go ahead and look that up, because that was another great interview and a discussion that was had. So
I
thank you,
appreciate
Kellie,
it.
for that.
Yeah.
Um, just in closing here, what would you like to share with the ladies when it comes to taking care of ourselves and really making sure that we are tapping into the natural resources, literally, that we have here at our disposal for our own betterment and our families?
Well, you know what? That's one of my favorite subjects. Thank you for the question. There's a lot that we have at home and around our neighborhoods that we can tap in. The one thing God did not do is keep us short of nature and how much nature means. He made things in different colors, and I so believe in color therapy, and I've added some things on my site about that. But let's just talk about when we get home from work and school. You know, having those meetings on the weekend with your children and your family to what we want the week to look like is helpful. So always stand in the mindfulness of making everybody aware of what we're doing together. But one thing I find helpful about mindfulness, a practice of mindfulness, is your shower to bath transfer or your bath to shower transfer. And they can be done right after another. You know, you go from your warm to your cold or your cold to your warm, depending on how your body is feeling. When you're really tired, you know, you want to take a brisk shower, but if you want to brighten it up and then just slow it down, just get the nervous system going, I would say take that tippet bath and then go into a cold shower just to reignite. But, you know, at night, we don't realize that we're on edge, and sometimes a cool shower and then going into the bath with chamomile or lavender is awesome. So that's something that's at your disposal. Having tea. I love tea. I'm a person who starts the morning with tea. I'll squeeze some key lime in some hot water and just listen to, me and my dad love John Coltrane, and I'll start my morning with a journal on what I want to see for the day. If possible, if I don't write it down, I'll put it in my phone or the night before to give myself some work for the next day. I still need homework and I'm grown. I'm out of college, but having those times when you can sit around and think about you, and taking walks is such a great mindful meditation. Just taking walk and deep breathing about the things that matter. Those endorphins will kick in a few minutes. Just keep walking. Just walk your neighborhood. I guarantee it makes a huge difference on your lifespan. The more you walk, you don't have to run. You don't have to do all of those things. Start circulating. You don't realize that's a form of detox. And take your family. You ever thought after a while you can take them on that same walk, and then maybe that young one will go to bed early. But a routine of mindfulness exercises of that sort are very helpful to your experience, along with the colors you wear, along with what you're listening to and what you're looking at on a screen. Very important. Find nature important. You'll see how that the balance comes back. So it's very helpful. It's very helpful to have some kind of form of mindful exercises on a daily basis, even if it's just one with drinking water and thinking about yourself and how you're going to come through. Like I said, that self-commitment, ladies, is so important. It's going to make a stronger you. Looking in the mirror and saying, this is who I am, but here's what I want to become. Nicer. I want to become more respected. But I want to do it in a way that is humble. I want to stop gossiping. I want to stop coming across mean. I want to, I want to change these things because I may not like that self and I just may be insecure. How do I start fixing that? Well, you know what? Just starting and saying it does a lot. And practicing 5 things a day that make you great and make someone else's day. So those are things from my playbook. I do those on a daily. I don't want to know that I wasted a day because I didn't have to have it. So many people are dying in this age right now, and it's critical times. But how am I using my time in this world to make a difference to myself and others?
Yes. Oh, that is awesome. Thank you so much, Kellie Bowman, for being here with us. This has been a fabulous discussion, a great interview, an easy interview. So thank you for that as well. But I hope you ladies have grabbed some of these nuggets of wisdom and some of the practical knowledge that Kellie just shared with us today. Go ahead and share this video with a friend and leave us a comment. You can leave some questions here and we'll both come back and check and talk with you guys here in the comments. So thank you once again for being here with us, Kellie.
Thank you. Thank you.
You. Absolutely. You're more than welcome, and you're welcome back anytime.
Oh, thank you. I like this. This is fun.
Oh, great. Well, ladies, keep it here for another Ultimate Creative Chat. We're here every other Monday. So go ahead and subscribe if you have not done so and check out another episode. Have a great day.
So, what can Ultimate Creative do for you? Click the link in the description for a consultation and let's get started.